for particular needs.
Okay.
So that we consider them to be very liquid. So for things that you plan on using money for in the foreseeable future, in a year or two, they can be a good place to park cash. Unfortunately, as you know, you're not making anything there.
Hardly a
So
thing.
we would encourage you, if you're looking for safety and growth, you should come see us.
Okay.
And we use insurance products.
Well, and we're talking like everybody knows what we're talking about. Maybe I should take a step back. For folks that don't understand what a CD kind of investment is, walk us through that a little bit.
Certificate of deposit. You can put those in the bank. You'll earn a guaranteed rate of return. The penalty, if you had to do an early withdrawal, is very minimal. It's just interest earned.
Right.
So it's a good, safe place to put your money. Unfortunately, it is taxable if you have non-qualified funds. You can use them for IRAs. They do serve a good purpose still.
But look at those rates of return from 0.05% to 0.5%. Okay, so maybe if in a year and a half you want to take the grandkids to Disney and you want to nest that money somewhere, that's an okay
Good
option.
place to put your money. Good place for repairs and things that you don't foresee coming.
So now let's talk about the insurance options that are out there.
Insurance options, we like them because we can get guaranteed rates. They are semi-liquid, so you can get to free withdrawals on an annual basis. Good place to go. They are tax deferred. A great place for IRAs. A good place that we would encourage people to look on for long-term savings.
Okay, gotcha. And I'm looking at the rates of return, and if I'm not mistaken, 1.5% to 3%. So you're talking about, at least the way things stand right now, maybe up to 6 times the return you're going to make on a certificate of deposit?
It's a lot like this scoring that basketball game last night.
Right. Little one-sided.
Little
perhaps.
one-sided.
Okay. But at the end of the day, it's all about what the folks who come to see you want to accomplish, what their goals are, and you're going to walk through all of that.
It is. We really do a lot of fact checking. We want to know what you're looking for and then see if we have something that fits that.
Okay. And they're probably going to have something that fits that. Bart, thank you so much. We appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Always nice to have you here, you bet. High school. I like this guy. If you'd like to get in touch with a Securus advisor, by the way, for a free consultation, you can call 636-720-1900 or 800-720-4252, or check out their website. That is securemoneyplan.com.
All right, time for Money Matters Monday. What if you could quit your job and simply retire based on the money that you have saved? Sound too good to be true? A lot of us are beginning to think that, but not when you have my next guest helping out. Chris Sheaves can make that happen. He's the president and CEO of Securus Insurance, Financial, and Estate Planning, and he's able to help secure your tomorrow today. In fact, he does it every day. This is what you do, and you're pretty good at it.
I think so.
Because a lot of people are benefiting from your wisdom.
Correct.
Now, a lot of us have 401ks, and we feel secure because in addition to that 401k, or maybe it's IRAs and 401ks, or maybe we just bought stock or whatever. In addition to that, we may have pensions. I have a pension. And I like to think, well, that I know I'm getting that. I know I'm going to get my Social Security. I know I'm going to get my pension. But how many times have we seen these pensions fold up shop and not be what the bill of goods that we were sold?
Exactly.
And then let's not even get into Social Security because who knows where that's going. But let's talk about pensions and the options that you have with pensions.
Here's the thing. I actually watched a YouTube video. We have Elizabeth Warren just brutalizing one of the big banks, brokerage firms, for pulling money out of a fireman's pension and putting it into the stock market.
Okay.
That's bad advice. Well, I would say that that's bad advice too, but the point that she was trying to make was accurate in the fact that you need a guarantee, and that's what the pensions are supposed to provide. But unfortunately, we don't know that those pensions are going to be guaranteed, okay?
Right.
And if you think about it, if you have a pension and they're going to give you a choice as to whether you could take it somewhere else and manage it yourself, if you could put it in a place that had some guarantees but also exceeded the benefits that the pension would have, why wouldn't you want to move that? Because you could leave a legacy, you could get long-term care benefits with it, you could get that guaranteed paycheck for life, you'd never have to worry about the money. And so, you know, moving money out of pensions is not a bad idea as long as you're moving it into the right product.
And you have to know what's right for you because not the same product is right for everybody.
That's correct.
And you know, the thing about this is that if a lot of people are going to look at this and say, well, my pension was handled by my union or my company, and I trust my company. I was with them for 30 years. Why should I deal with this independent guy and what he's saying with increased benefits? And when you say increased benefits, explain some of those long-term benefits to the legacy aspect
Here,
of what you can do.
If you've just retired today, you and your wife, let's say you and your wife, I know you're not married, I don't think, right?
Right.
But you retired, and you're driving home from the retirement party, and you get killed in a car accident, both you and your wife. What happens to the money?
I don't know.
Your kids don't get it, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's just gone, okay?
Right.
And so, that's something that you have to look at. Now, you can set up pensions to go to just you or you and your wife by taking less money. But at the same time, when you pass away, the money's gone. There's no legacy. So if you take the money out of the pension, put it into a guaranteed plan that will give you a paycheck that you cannot outlive, if there's any money that you have not spent left over, it will go directly to your family members. So there's no money left behind. In addition to that, if you need money earlier on for long-term care benefits, your pension plan is not going to pay you out any more than a check. So there's a lot of increased benefits by looking at that.
So I think we need to backtrack just a little bit and explain, and correct me if I'm wrong, you have the option of taking that pension money and using it not just as a check, right? You can take money out from the beginning.
Your company may offer you a lump sum in your pension. There are some companies that will not offer a lump sum, but if they do offer you a lump sum, that's a ticket. That's a ticket out. So you need to look at what are your options. Do you really just want that paycheck that will last you for the rest of your life? Maybe.
Right.
Or do you want some other options to pick from? So we can help you.
And this is the kind of thing that you can sit down with a potential client and say, they may have an idea. They're set in stone. They're, okay, my pension starts, I'm quitting this day, my pension starts this day, this is how much I'm going to get a month for the rest of my life.
Correct.
And you can say, well, that's fine if that's what you want, but let me just make sure you understand that there are other options that include a legacy or perhaps include a better benefit in the long run, right? And that's
Correct.
where this circle of advisors comes in.
Absolutely.
Tell us about that a little bit.
Well, as you well know, we have all of those folks in our office. We have people who do taxes. We have people who do securities. We have people who do insurance.
And they've all been on our show.
Correct.
I mean, you come in with some of your staff in here, and one's a lawyer, and one's a tax advisor, and family law, and all that.
We don't work for each other. We work with each other because, these people need to work for the client, not for me.
Sure.
But at the same time, we all realize there's a true benefit to working with each other to help that client get where they need to go.
When in somebody's life, their working life, their income life, when should they come and see you?
Well, needless to say, estate planning you probably would need to do as early as possible. Once you've turned 19 years old, you really need to get something done, at least powers of attorney or something like that. But, we do the taxes. So if you want to pay less tax or if you want to make sure that your 401k has other options to it, like guaranteed paychecks that you cannot outlive, you can put money into a self-directed IRA and your 401k if you want to.
Sure.
So it's just another way of saving some money.
And it's a hard sell sometimes to kids who are just getting started working and saying, I need you to take a little bit out and start putting it away. But really, the benefit of starting early is just, it's crazy.
I can't tell you how important it is.
Yeah, and I know you preach that to yours as well, your kids as a father. Did you have a good Father's Day?
I had a beautiful Father's
Good.
Day.
Glad you're here. Thank you so much, Chris. If you'd like to get in touch with a Securus advisor for a free consultation, you can call 636-720-1900 or 800-720-4252 or on the web at Secure Money Plan. And those are 3 key words right there, SecureMoneyPlan.com. All right, my friends, time for Money Matters Monday. Britain's decision to leave the European Union will have not only a huge impact on Europe's economy, as you might imagine, but the global economy, and we're part of that as a whole, which means, yes, it's going to affect you and it's going to affect me. Me, not so much, because I don't have any money to begin with, but you probably so. President and CEO of Securus, Chris Shreves, joins us, and he brought along Bart Humphrey, who's the Vice President of Business Development. Both of them are going to make an explanation. And before we go to that, Chris, I just want to say that this is, again, and we've talked about this before, one of the advantages of the way you do business in your company is that you have this circle of advisors, these experts around to talk about all the different aspects of personal finance.
Yeah, that's correct. And, at the end of the day, people really need to know, how other things affect their personal finances. So bringing all these people together certainly helps.
And when you're naive like me, you think, I don't care about what's going on in Europe. That probably doesn't have any won't make any difference in my IRAs or my annuities or anything else, but that's not true, correct, Bart?
It's very much not true. If we learned one thing from 2008, when America went through our troubles, well, it wasn't just here in America, was it? It was global. What's going on in Europe will affect us here. And recently, as you mentioned earlier, Britain decided to exit the European Union. In essence, they're saying we want sovereignty. We want direct control over our national interest.
So all these different countries in Europe, just for anybody who's not plugged into this thing, all these different countries in Europe shared the same monetary system, basically.
Right. And it
so
goes,
that you wouldn't have to worry about, like when you go to Mexico or Canada from the U.S., that there's an exchange rate or anything like that.
Correct.
Okay.
And it goes beyond that. It's a growth in process. So what a lot of people over there are feeling is that they're giving up more and more of their rights as a nation. And with Britain exiting the European Union, it has had a shockwave across the European Union where many countries now are demanding referendums of their own.
So you say that it's a global impact. How will it impact us here in the U.S.?
Well, it affects trade agreements. Again, now that Britain is decoupling from that currency, they still retained their currency, and that's suffering. We saw the stock market, if you noticed, about a week and a half, 2 weeks back when they did this, it really went down. And then it bounced right back. Now it bounced back, and that surprised people because the forecast was if they left, we were going to see the economy crash. Well, in essence, I would like to pretend that I'm the expert. I mean, I know a lot of things, but at the end of the day, when you're looking at this, you realize what you don't really know.
Right.
It is the great unknown.
Right.
And
it's volatile.
It's volatile. We don't believe our clients who are in their late 50s, early 60s, into their 70s, trying to enjoy the golden years, the last thing they need is the unknown.
Right. Right. How can you plan when you think, oh, it's going down, now's a good time to buy, and then bang, something changes or it goes down even more or whatever else? We don't know.
That's right.
So what do you suggest?
Well, I would suggest people take control. Take the initiative. Be proactive, not reactive. Our Federal Reserve, recently made headlines because they were being reactive to what's going on in Europe, and they're trying to reassure the American people by holding down interest rates and trying to keep things stable here. But we want our clients to be proactive. Position yourself where no matter what happens in the European Union or in China or in Australia or Russia or wherever you want to go in this global economy that has gotten so small, that it's not going to affect the plans that you have for yourself, your children, your grandchildren. Make the golden years really golden.
Makes sense to me. These guys are smart. That's why they have expensive suits. Imagine what it would cost to dress these gentlemen every day for work. These are not $26 suits you buy on Amazon. This is the real deal, right? Both of you.
I want that Amazon number. Do they sell suits?
Those ties cost more than her dress. Listen, if you'd like to get in touch with a Securus advisor for a free consultation, call them 636-720-1900 or 800-720-4252 or on the web at Secure, and that's the word, securemoneyplan.com. Thank you, gentlemen.
Kent, I have some advice for you too.
I'll bet you do.
Not financial advice, but my mom once told me if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Just passing that along, buddy.
Welcome back, everybody. It is time now for Money Matters Monday. You get your paycheck, you take it to the bank. Right? It's the way it's always been. But is that really the best place to be putting that money? Bart Humphrey with Securus Insurance, Financial, and Estate Planning says, maybe not. How are you, Bart?
I'm doing good. Good
Happy
morning.
Monday to you.
Happy Monday to you.
Just talking during the break, I feel like there's certain things in our lives that we just do the same way all the time because it's the way we've always done it. And that's probably true of our paycheck. You either direct deposit it or you take that check, you put it in checking, you shave a little off maybe if you're lucky enough to have some at the end of the month and you put that into savings. But if you look at interest rates right now, that money's not doing a whole lot in the bank.
We are creatures of habit.
Yeah.
And interest rates are miserably low. And as I was listening to you guys talk about VHS tapes, people that are waiting for interest rates to come back up, I think are a lot like the people holding on to those VHS tapes. It's not going to happen for a long time.
So then what's the better option? What should we be doing? It's got to be something relatively simple.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people aren't going to do it.
I think you need to be wise. And as I always like to tell my clients and people like yourself, we need to be good stewards. There are places out there you can go and get better interest rates over the long term. So safety first, that's our motto.
Yep.
As you know, not one person has lost one dime.
That's right.
And we're very proud of that, and we want to keep that going. But low interest rates, it helps us when we're say, buying a house. You know, I just bought a house. I got the benefit of having a low interest rate. But on the other side, it's punishing savers, so it makes it very, very difficult. So, like you're asking, what do you do? Well, seek out a professional, someone like ourselves, and we can give you good direction and give you interest rates that will make the bank pretty embarrassed by what they're doing.
Tear up a little bit.
There's actually negative interest rates around the world.
Which is, I don't even understand how that works, but I keep seeing that in headlines from
Well,
time.
I think it's a lot like the mob.
Yeah,
You
is
know,
that what
it's
it is?
protection money. So you actually pay them to hold your money. Now this isn't some you know, happening in Zimbabwe. This is happening in Sweden, in Germany, in Japan, the European Central Bank. So could it happen here? Well, it could.
Well, let's talk about the other side of this, because one place that people who've been working for some time like to go to at least feel like they're saving something for retirement is their 401k. A little different than your traditional savings account. You try to build a diversified portfolio. What do you what do you tell folks who have maybe a decent nest egg saved up in a 401k?
Well, first I want to make sure you define what a savings is. And especially when people are in retirement. That 401k was created to replace a pension, which is safe, but the 401k itself, while an excellent tool to accumulate wealth, is not a savings. And you know, sometimes people struggle because I will sit down with them and I'll ask them and say, is this your savings? And they'll nod their head, yes, that's their savings. It represents what they figure is their life savings. But there's no safety in it. Therefore, it's an investment, which, as we know, can go up and, as we've seen, can go down.
Sure. So the kinds of products you're talking about, the kinds of products that you help folks get into, are somewhere in between, I suppose, is one way to look at it, between that traditional savings account and a more risky 401k, right?
That's right. And Matt, I think the most important word you can hear when you're preparing for retirement or you're in retirement is guarantee. So please look for that for yourself, for anybody that you're talking to, for your viewers out there. Look for guarantee.
Got it. That's a word we don't hear often when we're talking about retirement. So there's a lot of allure to that. Bart, thank you very much. We appreciate it. If you have a question for Bart or Chris out there at Securus or any of the Circle of Advisors, you can jump on our Facebook page, Great Days Facebook page, message us, and then we'll make sure they get it. And if you'd like to get in touch with a Securus advisor for a free consultation, you can do that too. Call 636-720-1900 or 800-720-4252, or check out their website. That's securemoneyplan.com. Guys.
I know one thing I can guarantee about my retirement. I ain't going to be retiring anytime soon, for sure.
Maybe he could help you with that. I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, there may be. You never know.
Will we guarantee it, or will we retire at the same time, you think?
We may.
Maybe.
That's frightening.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Welcome back to Great Day St. Louis. In an attempt to strengthen and grow St. Louis businesses, some pretty smart people have come up with a program that they believe will help inner city business owners grow their companies. So please welcome back Mike Hart with Regions Bank. He is the bank area president, and also Joe Reagan, the St. Louis Chamber president. Good morning to both of you.
Morning.
I say welcome back because I spoke to both of you, just a couple months ago, checked in with you just before the 4th of July. So let's get an update on this big program.
Thanks, Laura. We've got over 70 businesses have been accepted to the program so far. We'd really like to get that number a little bit higher. But as you'll remember, these are businesses in St. Louis that are focused on growing. They're either minority owned, deriving most of their employees from a disadvantaged area, or located in the city or North St. Louis County.
It is called Inner City Capital Connections. So for our friends at home who are watching thinking, how do I get involved in this? What type of business owners would you encourage to contact you guys?
Well, as Mike mentioned, we're looking for businesses that are minority owned or employing people in these disadvantaged areas in the inner city. But seriously, anyone that wants to grow their business, anyone that is looking to actually employ more, invest more, grow their business to the next level, who has that hunger, that passion, not just to learn, not just to run their business, but actually to work on their business, to actually become better at being that employer and that entrepreneur. That's the type of businesses that we're looking for.
And that's something we had the chance to talk about off camera. So often business owners are just worried about the day-to-day working in their businesses. This is a chance to help them grow and improve on what they've already established.
Absolutely. We want them to have the knowledge, the network, the capability, and the tools to grow businesses, because more jobs for St. Louis, stronger businesses is good for all of us.
There's a big program coming up at Washington University in September. Please tell me about that.
Well, one of the great things about the ICCC program is that as we get these businesses in and they're accepted, as Mike said, we have over 70 accepted. We're looking for, we'll get to 70 more with your good help promoting. But the people that are putting this on are actually looking at each business and customizing the information, the education, the business coaching, the sessions for these businesses to specifically help their businesses grow here in St. Louis.
So much support can be given to those businesses thanks to very smart gentlemen like you and the rest who have come together to put this program together. So good to check in with you again. And if you're sitting at home thinking, I have to get involved in this, this is what you need to do. The website to apply is apply.iccapitalconnections.org. The program is free, but apply quickly.
Welcome back, everyone. It is time now for Money Matters Monday. How confident are you right now with your money invested in the stock market? That's a loaded question. Maybe you should take some time to really think that over. Chris Shreves, he is the president and CEO of Securus Insurance, Financial, and Estate Planning, and he might be able to help you secure your tomorrow today. How are you, sir?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm going to ask you probably the most simple sounding but most complicated question we'll ask anybody today, and that's, what's the market been up to lately?
You know, actually, the market seems to be at the top of its game, but that's the concern. Everything that goes up must come down at some point, right?
And we're setting new highs, I feel like, week after week in some cases.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so that's the concern. And so, we just want to make sure that people understand that the money that they have in their retirement accounts, if they have the ability to move it, if they're 59 and a half, they might take a look at that. But, put it somewhere else where it's not so much at risk. If you're trying to retire, you want to make sure that you have some safe money and a guaranteed paycheck for life, which that's what we offer. We actually brought a chart today just to kind of backtrack and show folks where things have gone with regards to the marketplace.
Got it right behind
and we've kind of showed this in the past. Historically, the red line right here is actually the S&P 500, which shows its performance from 1998 to 2015. Unfortunately, it doesn't have 16 on there because 16 actually has gone up at this point. Still hasn't caught up with the green line, which is where our clients are at. And as you can well see, for every year the market lost money, our clients never lose a dime.
Yeah.
And so therefore we don't have to play catch up. Everything that you get credited to your account actually gets to stay in your account. People say, one of the most intriguing things that they hear me say on this show is not one client's ever lost a dime due to market volatility. Well, that is true. And this chart actually shows you how our products work. And the unusual part is the light blue line right there is the actual guarantee that the product would bring even if the market never went up.